Picture this. You're looking at a 200-meter-tall skyscraper. Pretty impressive, right? Now, imagine we take another 200-meter skyscraper and lean them against each other, like they're having a conversation. Then we add a third one to join the party. And here's where it gets absolutely wild. We balance a 340-meter skyscraper on its side across the top of all three. Sounds completely insane? Welcome to Marina Bay Sands, the building that made engineers around the world go, "Wait, what?" You've probably seen this iconic Singapore landmark in movies, Instagram posts, or travel documentaries, but I guarantee you've never heard the incredible story of how they actually built this engineering masterpiece. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at this building the same way again. This is literally a building that defies gravity, logic, and pretty much everything we thought we knew about architecture. And the story of how it came to be? It's absolutely mind-blowing. Singapore's billion-dollar gamble. Here's the thing about Singapore in the early 2000s. They were already crushing it as a financial powerhouse. Banks, trading floors, corporate headquarters, you name it, Singapore had it. But the government realized they had a problem. Cities like Hong Kong, Dubai, and Las Vegas weren't just competing with office buildings anymore. Singapore needed something that would make the world stop and stare. So the government launched one of the boldest urban transformation projects ever attempted. They were going to turn Marina Bay, this waterfront area that was basically just empty space, into something the world had never seen before. In 2006, they handed the project to Las Vegas Sands Corporation. The design came from architect Moshe Safdie, and this guy has a reputation for building things that look like they shouldn't be physically possible. I'm talking about buildings that make you do a double take and wonder if someone photoshopped reality. Just look at his previous work, Habitat 67 in Montreal. Looks like someone threw concrete blocks in the air and they just decided to stay there. But Marina Bay Sands? This was his wildest, most ambitious idea yet. 3 hotel towers that curve and lean like a deck of cards being shuffled, but they also lean inward, opening toward the waterfront and framing the city beyond. Now here's where every structural engineer in the world probably had a minor panic attack. These aren't your typical straight up and down skyscrapers that we see in every major city. These towers lean inward by up to 26 degrees. That's like taking the Leaning Tower of Pisa and making it lean even more, then building 2 more of them, and then trying to balance a massive structure on top. But wait, it gets worse. The towers don't just lean, they curve and flare at the base, creating this beautiful, flowing design. Beautiful? Yes. A complete nightmare for engineers? Absolutely. They're building this entire thing on land that literally didn't exist 50 years ago. The entire Marina Bay area where this sits today was reclaimed from the ocean using sand fill back in the 1970s and 1980s. They knew that if they were going to build something this ambitious on reclaimed land, they needed foundations that were absolutely bulletproof. This was one of the largest piling operations in Singapore's history. Think of it like giving the building the world's most expensive and extensive root system. Every single pile was tested individually. We're talking about load tests, integrity tests, the works. Because, let's be honest, there was zero room for error here. If these towers started sinking, tilting, or shifting even slightly, we wouldn't just lose a building, we'd lose what was about to become Singapore's most famous landmark. The foundation work alone took months and cost hundreds of millions of dollars. But without it, everything else would have been impossible. Construction kicked off in 2007, and from day one, this was unlike any building project anyone had attempted. Picture trying to build 3 separate 55-story skyscrapers that all have to lean toward each other with absolute millimeter precision. One tiny mistake in alignment, and the whole thing falls apart. Literally. The engineers used the most advanced laser technology and GPS monitoring systems available, because when you're dealing with structures that will eventually support a floating park 200 meters in the air, close enough isn't in your vocabulary. We're talking about precision that would make a Swiss watchmaker jealous. These towers needed concrete walls that were 71 centimeters thick at their base. Plus, they installed massive steel trusses throughout each tower to tie everything together and handle the incredible forces created by the leaning design. But here's what makes it even more complex. Because the towers lean and curve, the forces acting on them aren't like a normal skyscraper. Instead of just dealing with wind loads and earthquakes, these buildings have to handle their own weight trying to tip them over. During construction, they had to use temporary supports and real-time monitoring for each tower as it went up, constantly checking to make sure nothing was shifting or moving out of position. The Sky Park challenge of a lifetime. You'd think mission accomplished, right? Wrong. Now came the part that still gives structural engineers nightmares. Installing the Sky Park. We're talking about a 340-meter-long structure weighing 7,000 tons that had to be lifted 200 meters into the air and placed across 3 moving targets. And yes, skyscrapers do move. They sway in the wind, expand and contract with temperature changes, and even settle slightly over time. It's like trying to land a massive airplane on 3 aircraft carriers that are all moving independently. The precision required was absolutely insane. The most complex lift in history. Here's how they pulled off this engineering miracle that still seems impossible today. They built the entire Sky Park in 14 massive steel segments, each weighing between 500 and 1,000 tons, using hydraulic strand jacks, basically superpowered winches that can lift incredible weights. They lifted each segment piece by piece, cable by cable, meter by meter. This wasn't a quick job either. Each individual lift took several days, often working through the night when the winds were calmer and more predictable. At 200 meters up, even a moderate wind gust could destabilize a segment weighing hundreds of tons and literally blow away months of work and millions of dollars. The weather monitoring for this project was more intense than some space launches. The precision required was beyond anything attempted before. Each segment had to align perfectly with the segments that came before it, and everything had to be welded together with absolute precision while swaying gently in the wind 200 meters above the ground. And then there's the cantilever. This is, officially, the world's largest public cantilevered platform. And honestly, the engineering behind it is so complex, it sounds like science fiction. Hidden beneath the deck are massive, box-shaped beams, some nearly 3 stories tall, that distribute all that incredible weight back into the tower structures. These are connected by long steel trusses that stretch between the towers, creating a hidden framework that makes the impossible possible. The Sky Park itself can move up to 20 millimeters every single day, just from normal thermal expansion. To keep everything perfectly aligned, they installed over 500 hydraulic jacking points beneath the pool structure. It's like having 500 tiny adjustable supports constantly fine-tuning the position to maintain that perfect infinity edge effect. This isn't just some architectural art piece sitting empty. This is a fully functioning mega resort that operates 24/7 with incredible complexity. We're talking about 2,500 hotel rooms. There's the world's largest atrium casino, a luxury shopping mall with actual canals running through it. You can take a gondola ride inside a shopping mall. Then there are 2 theaters, a lotus flower-shaped art science museum, countless restaurants, ranging from food courts to Michelin-starred establishments, conference facilities that can handle massive international conventions. And that's not even counting all the behind-the-scenes infrastructure. Coordinating all of these different functions while maintaining the building's incredible architectural design was like solving a 3D puzzle where every single piece had to be absolutely perfect. The mechanical systems alone, heating, cooling, electrical, plumbing, elevators, had to work around the curved, leaning structure in ways that had never been attempted before. When impossible becomes reality. When Marina Bay Sands officially opened in April 2010, it had cost $5.5 billion, making it one of the most expensive standalone casino resorts ever built. The 2008 global financial crisis hit right in the middle of construction, and many people seriously wondered if they'd even be able to finish it. But here's the incredible thing about bold vision. Sometimes it pays off in ways you never could have imagined. Within just a few years, Marina Bay Sands became one of the most profitable casinos in the world. Tourism to Singapore absolutely exploded. The building became as instantly recognizable and iconic as the Eiffel Tower, Sydney Opera House, or Statue of Liberty. Films started using it as a backdrop. Music videos featured it. International conventions that had never considered Singapore suddenly wanted to host events there. The building literally transformed Singapore's global image from a business hub to a must-visit destination. The legacy continues. And guess what? Moshe Safdie and the team aren't done yet. They're currently working on a fourth tower that will lean forward at a 45-degree angle with its own 2-level sky park. Plus, there's going to be a 15,000-seat entertainment arena designed by the same minds behind the incredible Las Vegas Sphere. The price tag for this expansion, originally estimated at $3.3 billion, it's now looking at around $8 billion. Because apparently, when you're already building the impossible, you might as well double down and build something even more impossible. What this really means. Marina Bay Sands proved something incredible about human ambition and engineering excellence. Sometimes the craziest, most impossible-sounding ideas lead to the most extraordinary achievements. It took visionary architects, brilliant engineers, incredible courage, and honestly, a little bit of controlled insanity to turn what started as an impossible sketch into this incredible reality. This building didn't just change Singapore's skyline, it changed what we thought was possible in architecture and engineering. It showed that with enough determination, creativity, and technical skill, you can literally build dreams into reality. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I've got so many more incredible stories like this coming your way.